Oh, welcome to Daily Chess and start of my tactics series here, which is part of my daily practice. And I would like to just share my approach to you and the exercises I do to share them with you, and yeah, just to practice the technique of calculation. Okay, let's start here with the first problem on chesstempo.com. Okay, it's white to move right now. And okay, let me see. He has a very weak back rank, which I could maybe even use. Let me see if we can somehow exploit this coordination. It looks a bit, overloaded. The bishop controls the knight controls the rook, so it means if one of these pieces falls, something will definitely be hanging. Okay, I cannot remove my rook because I also have a weak back rank, so I could maybe try to attack one of the defenders, maybe something like knight f6, c3. I'm playing white. Might be interesting. Knight c3, for instance. Okay, attacking the bishop. Once this bishop moves anywhere, the knight hangs, so we'll just win a piece. If I'm able to exchange off this bishop here, I remove the defender of the knight. So if your rook takes, I take the knight, attacking the rook and the back rank. Looks very strong. Let's see, if I play knight c3, he cannot go to d1, give me a check. He could take here on f2, probably. I just take, and it's rubbish. Knight c3, rook d2, d2. Okay, this looks maybe more dangerous. But on the other hand, knight c3, rook d2, d2, knight takes d5, rook takes f2. In a way, threatening to give perpetual, right? I could take with the queen. Maybe I have something stronger. For instance, knight e7 check, probably. No, that wouldn't help. But okay, I'll just take on f2 and it should be over. So rook knight c3. How can you react? He cannot play knight e7 because the knight hangs and the rook. So it was just this material. Probably this might be the right move. Oh yeah, here it comes. Okay, with the idea, once I take here on d5, he checks me twice and it's mate. Okay, I didn't consider this one. It doesn't look very threatening. And he still has a problem with this bishop here. And once I remove all the threats, he cannot do much. Probably just h3 or something. This should be enough. Okay, now he could move the knight, but does he have any squares? Probably just this one. So there must be something hidden. Can I somehow threat mate? Not that much. But what about the rook e1, for instance? If the rook e1, I just threaten mate. He has to move somewhere. If he freezes his piece, I can then just take the bishop. Rook d1. Check. Followed by king f1 should win. So maybe that's the move to go. Here it comes. Now the knight is unprotected and I can just win it. Okay, problem solved. Right, yeah. Okay. So let's repeat the problem. So it's all about this whole construction, additionally to this weak back rank. You cannot move because it will be mate, and this construction looks very, very weak. I mean, I could, whichever piece moves, something hangs, and I could try to use this. Just try to remove one of the defenders. In that case, the bishop here, after which everything will fall. Rook b to d2. I didn't have this on the I didn't consider this move, but really this maybe the one setting the most problems. But after rook e1, it's just over. Rook d1 is still not possible, and now I just threaten to take the bishop because rook d1 doesn't come with the check. So I have one move left, which is knight e7. After which, okay, if the knight takes, I take with the queen and protect my rook and threaten back rank. So, yeah, that's the point of this exercise. Quite good. So let's see. Let's just copy this one. Or I can even download it. Okay, great. Okay, let's go to the next example. Next problem. Okay. I have to mention that I set the difficulty to very hard. So the examples shown here probably just are not very easy. So okay, let's see. Okay, as a hanging bishop on a5, he can probably plans to check me on g6, and he attacks the knight. I also have to consider this rook there on b1 going to b8. After which, once he checks me, the rook on h8 falls. And okay, he doesn't have any concrete threat, does he? I don't see anything. Maybe trying to play something like, I don't know, bishop b4. We can take with the knight because the rook hangs on a8. I cannot take with the queen because my okay, I could even probably, right? No, the bishop protects f1, so even the back rank doesn't count here. Yeah, the back rank is probably the main problem here. Okay, and he attacks e6. So if I take on a5, he plans to check me on e6. I have to move somehow, and then he plays either, I don't know, queen c8 for instance, check and winning the rook. So I have to prevent this one. Okay, how can I do this? How can I achieve this? Okay, if king f7, with the idea of queen g6, king f8, just to set, to try to how to say, to force the queen, or to put the queen on a worse square. Here still rook b8, b7 check. This looks very annoying. I mean, I'm an exchange up, so exchange pieces would in general be favorable for me. Okay, I don't know if I can castle, probably yes. So, okay, if I castle, can check me on h7, king f7 forced, bishop g6 check, king e7 forced, queen takes g7, and game over, probably. Okay, let's try to gather at least some candidates. Okay. Well, he's threatening to take on e6, so I should just try to protect it maybe. Okay, as I mentioned, king f7 and king d7 are probably not that good. Especially since the other one seems to lose even the... Okay, something like king d7, for instance, rook b7 check. If I go king d6, he can play bishop c7 check, force me to the 7th rank, and then discover and get my queen. On the other hand, okay, king d7, rook b7, good, so it's just one idea. King f7, I think I can just dismiss due to rook b7 probably. This looks very strong, all those threats there. But what about e5? What about e5? But wait, rook takes a5 might be even an option. Rook takes a5. Okay, queen takes e6, probably the only idea. If queen g6, I just go king f8. If rook b7, knight e7 attacks the queen, prevents mate on f7, and yeah, it looks very strong. Okay, so queen takes e6. What about king d8? I mean, after king d8, he doesn't have queen c8 check. He doesn't have rook b8 check, and just a piece up, a whole rook, right? Yeah, a whole rook. He has a pawn for it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's just a piece up. So I should even allow this idea of taking on e6. Doesn't seem to work. I just have to remember, okay, rook takes a5, queen takes e6 check, knight e7 loses, as well as queen e7 does probably. Knight e7 loses to rook b8 mate. Okay, not mate, but okay, queen c8, and then rook takes c8 mate. Knight cannot retake, it's because due to the pin. And okay, rook takes a5, queen takes e6, king d8. He doesn't have any checks left. And it seems as if it would be over if okay, rook takes a5, queen takes e6, king d8, rook b7, threatening queen d7 mate. That's a serious threat. Okay, rook a7 doesn't help because queen d7 is faster. Rook a1, bishop f1. Seems to be too slow. Takes, king takes. Cannot even give a check. That's critical. Rook takes a5, queen takes e6, king d8, rook b7. Yeah, rook b7. That's maybe the point where it doesn't work. Oh, must be much simpler. Can I allow to take with the queen? Queen takes a5. The only critical line is then, because otherwise just Yeah, the only critical line is queen takes c, king f8. Quite a lot of lines to calculate. Queen takes a5. Queen takes e6. Well, yeah, queen takes c6. Check. King e7. Rook b8. Looks not good. Rook takes a5. Maybe even. What about e5? e5, then bishop e4, yeah? Then I could play. Queen takes. No, let's say rook takes, queen takes f8. What do I miss? Queen takes. Well, then it's just an exchange. If I just take with the queen, it's an exchange. If I take with the rook, I win the piece. Okay, let's check with the rook again. Queen takes e6. Alright, queen d8 and rook b7, right? Then. Couldn't I defend with. No, queen f5. Okay, if he takes with the bishop, I check a1, it's mate. If he takes my queen, I take with the rook, he takes with the bishop. 1, 2, 3. Now this would be even bad for me, material-wise. Other checks doesn't seem to be very risky, right? Rook takes a5, queen takes d6, king d8, rook b7, queen d5. What about this? Taking the queen, preventing queen f7 check, that's maybe the point. And queen d7 as well, so take. Okay, this seems to work. Let's see, I hope it's not bad. Okay, problem solved. Let's see if I can see the variations here. King d8, yeah, here it comes. Yeah, if rook b7, queen d5 takes, rook takes g7, yeah, rook e8. That looks great. Okay, if queen e7, he would check me, right? Queen d7. In the end, there would still be an exchange up, right? No. Rook b8 check. King e7. Queen takes. No, I just pin him. Wouldn't this just lose? What about rook b8 here? Rook b8 check. Does have only one square left. Yeah. King e7. And then rook b7. Doesn't it just finish him off? I mean, it just win the queen, right? Rook a1, bishop f1. I don't know why this line here is given. Yeah, well, this is just good for white. Okay. King f8 isn't very good too, probably. Yeah, just bishop g6. Okay, I thought queen c8, but okay, bishop g6 looks very strong. Queen e7, rook b8, yeah. Okay, knight e7, just rook b8 probably, and queen c8 and rook takes is what we calculated. Okay, so after king d8 it's very important that I can play queen d5. That's very important. Okay. Well, okay, let's go for the final one. Let's take 3 examples here. Okay. I still have to get used to the side of the properties. Okay, let's take the next one. Okay, let's count the material. Double rook and the knight and the queen. So it's just a rook up. Serious? I mean, queen takes queen, rook takes rook, queen e6 check, whatever, and picks up the rook. What do I miss? I mean, it's that simple, right? If I take his queen, takes my rook, this is just winning. Yeah, okay, this was rather easy. Rated 1833, I think is a bit overrated. It's a very easy example. Okay. Well, let's download it. Maybe I should have downloaded the previous one. Okay. Well, let's take another one. Okay. Okay, double rook, knight, minor piece and queen. Double rook, minor piece and queen. Okay. 2, 4, 5, 2, 5. Okay, material is even. Okay, this bishop is hanging. That means it neutralized his threat. I have the initiative for the time being. Do we have any tactical motives? Okay, direct attack on the queen right now, on the bishop here. I don't know if this one cannot become even a bit weak, but if I ignore the threat. So let's bishop to knight takes bishop is one candidate. The other one is rook, queen takes rook, maybe. Because this king in the corner now is a bit dubious, so it might be even a weakness. Otherwise, okay, queen e4 is probably a candidate. Queen e2 maybe even. What about queen f? Maybe even queen f1 just to increase the power of this have a piece line up on the f file. That's okay. That's maybe the most important candidates right now. Okay, let's take the bishop first. Okay, rook takes queen is, I guess, forced. Okay, rook f8 doesn't help, right? King g7. If knight f5, he takes with the pawn. I think I can dismiss this one. Okay, queen f. Rook. Queen takes rook. He takes. He doesn't have any threats, any concrete threats. Because if rook f7, I just take. Rook takes. Knight takes. Rook f2 check. King g1. Rook takes b2. a2 is weak, and I have the better piece and a pass pawn. That's lost. See. Maybe queen f1, which idea? Just play. Okay, first of all, knight takes h6, and to play rook f7 maybe. Rook f7 looks strong. Rook f7 would win the rook in the corner there. So let's say rook queen f1, bishop. Okay, if f8, I just take it out. Bishop g7. Rook f7, at least winning the rook there. So if he takes with the queen, I take with my rook. So this looks very strong. Let's see. I hope it's not wrong. Okay. Yeah, here it comes. Okay, that's the solution. And I think I don't miss anything. Yeah, problem solved. Okay. Which candidates did he look up to? Okay, this idea is just the most important one, and the one that I have now a direct attack going on. So that means once I sidestep his one, he still has to deal with my main threats here, and I gain time and keep the initiative, even if it looks as if rook d5 would take it over. Okay, well, let's download this one. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed a rather long session here for tactics. The one just took me some time. If you have any comments, ideas, or I don't know, anything else, just leave it on my channel, YouTube, Daily Chess TV, and visit my site, dailychess.org. I would like to thank Chessbase and Schach Niggemann for supporting the show. Thank you very much. Bye bye.